Annabelle Comes Home was directed by Gary Doberman and it's based on the story by James Wan. This is the 6th installment in the Conjuring Annabelle universe, and this one definitely took me by surprise. I genuinely thought that Warner Bros was just trying to cash in on their prior success with this franchise, but they actually made a well above average horror film. Without getting into much details, this time around the story focuses on the Warrens' daughter Judy alongside her babysitter and best friend. So when the Warrens go off on a trip, the girls are left alone at home and the babysitter's curious best friend opens up the cabinet that contains the Annabelle doll. So to me, one of the strongest elements from both the amazing Conjuring movies has always been Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's fantastic performances, but unfortunately they had minimal screen time here with much smaller roles. But McKenna Grace, who plays Judy here, does a fantastic job of carrying this story, and I've seen a few films that this kid actress has starred in. She's a great actress and I genuinely think that she is the future of Hollywood. If you guys don't believe me, go check out this movie called Gifted starring Chris Evans. It's not one of the more popular films, but it's a really good one. Go watch it. It stars this kid and she's fantastic in it. As for the other two characters, I found them alright. They were decently fleshed out, nothing special. However, I did find a minor issue with the babysitter's best friend character, but I'll get into that a little later on. There was also sort of this love interest, sort of boyfriend character. Not really boyfriend, but he didn't have much to do. He was in the film for a short period of time. He was, he popped up here and there, but yeah, he had just one pretty cool thing to do, but other than that, nothing much. Pretty much disposable. What I particularly enjoyed about this installment was the simplicity of the storyline and time period. And that's essentially one of the stronger elements I've always found with this franchise. It takes place in a simpler time without all that technology crap that's a quite essential gimmick in the horror genre today. And speaking of horror, I thought there were a couple of really good set pieces that was directed ever so well, and with the lack of music, it's just chilling. And if you guys are familiar with the previous movies, you all know the room where all these demonic artifacts and items are kept. Well, essentially the story focuses on those things. And beyond that, I'm not gonna say much more to keep this spoiler free. As much as I enjoyed Annabelle Comes Home, unfortunately, there are a few negative elements. For one, this is pretty much a story that we've all seen before. The first act is the calm before the storm, then we move on to the second act where we get a little glimpse of the demons, and then the third act is where all hell breaks loose. So the babysitter's best friend, who essentially plays that typical role of doing literally the dumbest thing and quite essentially acting as that catalyst that reacts with the story, so we actually get a story, I found quite tropey. Although she had a viable reason to do what she did, at the end of it, it was just one big red flag to let us know that this was not based on a true story. Unfortunately, the movie also relies on a few jump scares and loud sounds for a cheap way of making us jump out of our seats, and oftentimes films can get carried away and start abusing this trope, but I'm glad that Gary Doberman made sure to put at least a couple of good and well-directed scenes to sort of bury the cheapness away. However, with a strong performance from McKenna Grace, a few creepy scenes and set pieces alongside a surprisingly good direction, I would definitely recommend that you guys go check out this movie. So with all that being said, I'm gonna give Annabelle Comes Home a solid B. It's not the worst nor is it the best, but I think it's somewhere in the middle, and if I were to rank this franchise accordingly, I think on top would be either one of the Conjuring movies, followed up by Annabelle Creation, and then Annabelle Comes Home, and then I think The Nun, and then the first Annabelle movie, which wasn't very good. Hope you guys enjoyed the review, and as always, I appreciate the watch. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.